like, because it happened so fast. At first I was like, wait, I just got.
What's up, everyone? Trevor Sikkema here with another edition of TDN's Prospect Interview Series. I'm very excited about the guest that we have today because he is one half of college football's greatest same-name defensive line duo. It is Mr. Darius Stills from West Virginia University. Darius, my man, how are you doing?
I'm doing very well. How are you guys?
I'm doing great, man. I appreciate you jumping on with me. I know that it's a very exciting time training for the NFL draft. How's training been, just first and foremost?
Sure. Oh, everything's been well. I'm in week 8 right now. I got a few more weeks before I go back up to West Virginia to prepare for pro day, and I'm doing very well. I'm excited about the future to come.
I'm very excited about your pro day as well. You're one of the prospects that I know a lot of people are looking forward to. And look, if your last name sounds familiar, it's because you got a football father who did a lot of great things, both in West Virginia and in the NFL as well. 3rd round pick, former Pro Bowler. And I got to ask you, because this is always a question that I love people who they came from this kind of line. What's the most advantageous part of having a dad who went through this exact journey that you're going through? The West Virginia journey, moving on to the NFL draft. It's such an unknown when rookies go through this for the first time. But what's the most advantageous part about having your dad here with this journey?
I would say just having a mental preparation. You know, our dad's telling us, the stuff that he went through. So it's like giving me an idea of what he has been through. So really just being prepared and very fortunate, honestly, just being one of the few people to be able to go through this process. I'm very fortunate and grateful.
How early did y'all start playing football? Like, was your dad like, I played football, you and your brother, you're playing right away? Like, what was that like growing up in that atmosphere?
So I'm gonna tell you a story. So Dante and I played soccer before we played football, and we're pretty good at it.
All right.
Yeah. And so then we went to watch one of my mom's friend's sons play at the football field, and Dante and I was running around tossing football very far, and the coach was like, "Yeah, you guys should try playing football." And Dante was like, "Nah, we're soccer players." And it's like we didn't know nothing about football. We knew our dad played in the NFL, but like it just wasn't something that we were interested in at the time. So then my mom was like, "You guys just give it a try. If you don't like it, go back to soccer, baseball, basketball." And then we're like, "Okay." And then there you go. That's how it started.
How old were you at that point? Like, how long have you been playing soccer? Were you in high school yet, or were you in middle school?
No, I played soccer for about 3 years before I started playing football. So I would say about 8 or 9 is when I started playing. Dante played flag football for a year, and I was older, and I was weighed a little more, so I had to bump up to Pee Wee. No, I started with the pads on. Dante didn't, so that's when it all started. Yeah.
What? Okay, now I got to ask because I grew up playing soccer too, so this is fantastic to learn. What position did you play?
I played goalie, and I played attack. Isn't the guy that in the middle? Yeah. I just got to do stuff. So goalie is kind of my thing. I liked it, and I felt like the game's kind of on my hands if I let the ball get in the goal. But really, that's the position I like playing.
Dude, it's so funny hearing that a current defensive lineman used to play a sport where you just run around and it's just like constant cardio. So like that's where your background was coming from. That's fantastic. So you mentioned a little bit there, of course, you have your brother. And when I was looking up some stories about your recruiting, I mean, it's a very interesting journey for you because your brother was a higher rated recruit than you were, but he was your younger brother as well. And the more that I was learning about this story, I mean, I had to ask you this. I mean, be honest, was that tough knowing that like your brother was getting a lot of these letters and scholarship offers and he had the higher recruiting ranking and you were the older brother and you had some offers obviously, but you know, the West Virginia offer took a little bit to come in, even though that your dad went there. What was that like going through that process, having your younger brother have a lot of success with recruiting and then kind of you almost having to like wait it out?
Oh, it was very tough, honestly. It really kind of shaped who I am today in terms of me, overcoming adversity, me just fighting for everything I have now, being the under-recruited guy and being just the kid, like the older brother that really didn't get that much attention. It's people talked about it. People came to me and said, how's it feel to be the older brother and not have that much attention? And then it hurt a lot, but having Dante have that attention made me want it that much more. So I thank Dante a lot for just being that recruit that kind of pushed me to be the guy I am today.
Now, I know that you were committed to Rutgers. You were leaning to Rutgers a little bit. Was there ever a discussion, even when that West Virginia offer came? Like, did you still think about going to Rutgers, or was it like, man, the West Virginia offer came, Dante was going to West Virginia, I've got to be going there too?
Oh, it was, yeah, I committed to Rutgers. And then the crazy thing is, Rutgers is like, so if you commit and West Virginia offers you, are you going to decommit? I didn't even know. I said no because West Virginia didn't talk to me, nothing. And then 2 days later, all the coaches followed me on Twitter at the same time. And I was like, oh, man. Then the defensive coordinator, Tony Gibson at the time, he DM'd me, he was like, give me a call when you have a chance. And I was kind of debating on giving him a call because I already committed and all the news was out and everything. But then I was like, you know what? Something's telling me to just call. So I got a call. He's saying, well, what's up with you and Rutgers? I was like, oh, I committed. And he was like, well, you never want to be a Mountaineer? And I was like, of course I want to be a Mountaineer. I grew up 20 minutes down the road. And I came to every camp, just trying my hardest to get that offer. He said, well, we're going to offer you full ride right now. And I was excited, but at the same time, I was like, I told Rutgers I was not going to decommit, and I was kind of in a situation. And my mom was like, Darius, you need to stay with the people that liked you since day one. But she was also upset at the time that Rutgers is 6 hours away, and she wouldn't really be able to watch me play.
Right.
So I kind of made it on my own. And my mom was really mad at me for a couple of days for decommitting from Rutgers, but it all worked out, and she was very excited for me to commit to WVU.
She got it, like the hometown, like she got to be able to see you play. She couldn't have been that mad at your decision, right?
She was more upset that Rutgers would have been upset than me, decommitting, because they showed me love from the very beginning. They liked me, they liked my size, they liked my speed, and they really appreciated the type of player I was. And just being able to say no to them, that was the hard part for me also. But for her, just being, them being upset.
Well, I think that's a good lesson from mom. Then obviously she told you got to stick with the people that believe in you. And something that I found when I was looking through your Instagram, speaking of belief, I found that little clip that you had posted of, at the time, Baylor head coach Matt Rule singling you out by name and saying that you were the toughest player. You were the best player that they went up against. Matt Rule is now coaching the Carolina Panthers. This is an NFL head coach who now was saying these things about you. How cool was that? Just to hear that, completely off the cuff praise that you didn't even know was coming.
Very awesome. Because that's really the first time I've ever heard a coach say that about me. And I was kind of shook at first. I was like, wait, did he mean to talk about Dante, or was he really talking about me?
Yeah.
But he said 55, his brother, lights out. So then I was like, okay, he's really talking about me. So it's still crazy to this day knowing that an NFL coach currently thinks that about me. And, hopefully things happen where maybe I can become a Panther. So
I was going to say, Matt Rule, he's now you are fully now on Matt Rule's radar. So like if the Carolina connection happens, everybody's going to be able to point back to that interview, which I figured was an awesome moment for you. So I had to ask you about it. Let's talk about your growth as a player. How you have grown throughout your college career at West Virginia. What's the biggest area of growth you say that you've seen within yourself as a football player? It could be something like how you watch film or a technique or seeing the field a different way or something like that. What's the biggest area of growth for you?
I would say just being able to recognize myself as a player. Going in, I kind of played off raw talent in high school. And so I was kind of like, okay, am I a pass rusher? Am I a finesse player? Am I a power guy? So I really didn't know what type of player I was till really my junior season, to where I got the opportunity to just display that play after play after play. And once I got comfortable on, all right, I'm very fast. I'm very quick. I can use that along with my strengths. So really just learning the type of football player I am, and just maturity also, just the experience and just being able to lead my guys. And I didn't know what type of leader I was, because the coaches were always like, Darius, you're a leader. Regardless if you like it or not, you lead. And I was like, well, I'm not a vocal guy on the field, but I lead by example. Because at the end of the day, people don't really listen to people that their talk isn't backing up their play. So I really I play, and then I kind of critique as I go, but really just learn the type of player I am.
Was there a moment or a time period where you really felt that light come on, or that switch flip where you went, hey, I was playing off of raw talent before, and now I'm recognizing how the offensive line's setting up. I'm seeing exactly what I'm going to do before the snap. Was there a moment in time where you really were like, wow, I felt that, it was just natural to me?
Yeah. First game, my junior season versus JMU. is when I kind of figured out, all right, I can do this for a little while, more than the next 2 years. Like, because I blocked a field goal, and then I had that sack, which really boosted my confidence more than I can even explain. So really from then on out, I was like, I started focusing on, okay, my pro career, I got to keep on getting better and better and better, be more consistent to where I can have the opportunity to play in the NFL. So really just at the JMU game is when it all kicked off.
You just mentioned sacks, and this popped into my head. When you got your first sack of your collegiate career, did you have like a sack dance? Like I always wonder this with guys who get sacks in the backfield, or were you just like, oh my God, like that was my first one. I don't really know what to do. I'm running to the sideline. Did it catch you off guard, or were you ready for it?
It did, like, because it happened so fast. I was like, whoa, wait, I just got. Then I was like, I'm gonna celebrate. I'm gonna hit the ground and do something. But really, just that it happened so fast. I was like, wait. And then it really kicked in on the sideline because I was like, well, I just got a sack.
Yeah.
I was picturing me getting sacks and making plays, and it came true. And I was just really just shook and excited at the same time.
I'm glad that you brought up the JMU game because I have this question written down. You've done two things that could be like highlight outside of the norm things for a defensive lineman. You've had an interception, and you've also blocked a field goal. Tell me which one's better. Which one was the better feeling?
I would say personally would be the block field goal because that's still the first big play I've ever had in college. But then the interception was different because I wasn't not so much my interception, but my team around me. If you watch the film, everybody got excited and you could tell it was genuine.
You dove for it, man. You laid out. You put the body on the line for it.
I knew at that time that I had really one of the only million opportunities like I would probably have just getting an interception like that. So I just had to go all out and get it. And regardless if I was going to get it or not, I tried my hardest and ended up coming down with it. So really I can't even explain the feeling, honestly.
Those are two really cool moments when I was watching your film and doing a lot of research on you. So I'm very glad that you got those in there. So I also noticed this when you posted this one on your Instagram as well, picture of you graduating. And the captions was saying that you were the first in your family to graduate college. And I think that is one of the coolest things in the world, to be able to leave a legacy and set that in stone for your family name, for you. What kind of pride went into that? Because obviously you've got so much pride as a player going to West Virginia. Dad went to West Virginia, going on to the NFL. There's pride in that. We already know that. But what was the pride like getting that degree?
I would say just being able to, like you said, pave the road for, my kids, my brother's kids, and knowing that, all right, well, you can be an athlete, but at the same time, you got to be a student. You got to take care of yourself in the classroom. And being the first one of my family to graduate, I'm very, very grateful because there's a lot of people that do that, but just, my dad went to the NFL after 3 years and he didn't graduate college. My mom didn't either. So really being the first one, it just really just makes my confidence boost also, just being able to be the one in my family to do that.
It's an awesome accomplishment. It's a really cool thing to be able to say, especially after all the hours that you put into it. Oh, yeah. When I was reading up on your final game that you were about to play for West Virginia, I cannot remember who was asking the question, but they said, hey, what's this going to be like, this final game for West Virginia? And you actually said in your answer, I don't necessarily think about it as, my final game for West Virginia. I think that you said, you're going to be a Mountaineer forever, but you said what I'm really thinking of the most right now is that this is the last guaranteed game I have with Dante, with your brother. And so I just, for that to be the first thing that's on your mind when you have such an important moment, an impactful moment in your own life, clearly means a lot. What's it been like just going through this journey with him, growing up, like you said, playing soccer, playing high school football, now going to the same college, and now on this NFL draft journey together? What has that been like having him there with you?
Very, very, very unique. Because, you don't really get to, some people don't really get to experience that with their brother. And because one usually into football and the other one's just something different.
Right. So
like just being able to just play with my brother, like especially at the high level we've been playing at, it's undescribable feeling. You can tell on the field we have fun. Whenever each one of them making plays, we get excited. And just my mom always said, cherish these moments while you have it because it can be gone just like that. And I remember being younger playing with Dante and not really understanding that it can be gone that fast, and it's gone now. So really just being that, having that last game, we balled out, try to play our hardest. And at the end of the game, we shedded tears because really not so much as being sad, but just really just being grateful that we got to share that experience together. And hopefully one day, same NFL team. That's what we're praying for. But, chances of that are low. But just really just, like you said, just taking pride in that experience and just being grateful for it.
Hey, maybe if it's not the same NFL team, maybe y'all meet at the Pro Bowl one year and you're both there and you get to share the field together. So that could be another. So cool. I got to ask, what's the most competitive thing y'all do between the two of you that's not football? Like, what are y'all eating, video games? Like, what is it here?
Everything. If you want to be honest, Okay, like we'll go home for like a family dinner. Dante can't have less than me drinks or like really just anything. And I'll be sitting there like, why are we really competing right now over a drink? It just really anything. So football, well, not really just football, coming home. All right, well, Darius, if you like just racing home, I mean, really, it's a lot of stuff, honestly. I mean, everything we do is competitive. If Dante gets a sack, like football-wise, if Dante gets a sack, I'm like, okay, well, I got to get a sack. Or like TFL, I got to get one too. And like, yeah, so really just everything, honestly.
Good motivator. It's a good motivator. Like you said, just like keeping them next to you. So looking forward to the NFL draft, you could play a lot of different positions. I think you talked about having a lot of talent. West Virginia's front is very unique. You could do a lot of different things in the football field. Who are some guys that you're watching? What are some things that you're working on as you prepare kind of towards the NFL draft and getting into your rookie season?
So for the last few years, I've been watching Aaron Donald, and Grady Jarrett, same height, same weight, everything. So why not watch the guys that are being successful and learn how they work and learn how they are successful? And just what I'm working on is Aaron Donald's cross chop. We're working that very well. And the people I'm working with saying it looks very natural. I just keep on working it. And Grady Jarrett's just hustle. You can watch film. He hustles to the ball, runs to the ball, has relentless effort, and really just combining my strengths and to like theirs also. So just modeling my game after them too. Not
bad, just to watch probably the greatest defensive tackle to ever play the game. That's not a bad one to watch and try to emulate as much as you can. All right, this is the final question for me. We got $1,000 on the line. Hypothetically, we're not actually giving you $1,000. We got 1,000 hypothetical dollars on the line. You've got to beat me at something that's not football related. Like, can be a different sport, or it can be like, again, video games, cooking, karaoke, like something outside the box. What is like a hobby or something that you could beat me at if we got $1,000 on the line?
All right, so since I'm from West Virginia, I tend to be able to run up mountains a lot. So and I live on a big hill. So I'm like, all right, if I bet you $1,000, I can beat you up the top of my big hill. And because, and I'm used to it. So I feel like, yeah, that's really the thing. And I would say climbing trees. I climb trees a lot.
Okay. I just went rock climbing like last week. So all I'm saying is that I got a little bit of warm up here for you. No, but you might have me at the hill thing, especially if we got to go like multiple times. I might be able to do one hill. And after that, I'm going to be absolutely gassed. So you're going to have me. I'm just going to be sitting there waiting at the bottom. I'm just going to hand you the $1,000 for me to not even have to do it.
At West Virginia, so we have this right by the stadium. It's called Law School Hill. So every summer we have to run it. And I would say about 70 yards incline. And we have to run it for like 1 week it's 4, next week it's 7, and the next week's 9. And people pass out, people throw up, people you can't even go down. Honestly, believe it or not, going down the hill is worse than going up the hill.
Dude, I'd be dead.
Yeah,
I'd be dead.
Yeah, it's bad.
You ever throw up during those workouts? You have to, right?
I've thrown up Law School Hill. I think it was my last rep on the 3rd week we did it. It was 9, and I think I blacked out halfway up the hill. I don't remember much. I just remember coming to, and I'm on top of the hill, leaned down like this, and just. And it was Coach Mike Joseph, that's his name. He loves it. He's like, yeah, Stills. And it took me 10 minutes to get down. It was rough, but I think I got you on the hill thing.
All right. I bet you do. I remember reading this a while back. Somebody asked LaDainian Tomlinson, the running back, obviously the Hall of Fame running back. He said, how'd you get so fast? He's like, I ran hills as a kid. And I remember reading that and thinking to myself, oh, I'm going to start running hills. I want to be fast like LaDainian Tomlinson. And I think I ran 2 hills. And I'm like, this ain't for me. This is we're done here.
The thing is, like I said, like back in my hometown, Fairmont, I live on a big hill, and in the wintertime, right now, my family, we can't even get up it. We have to walk every single time we leave, and it's rough. But I'm used to the hills, so definitely.
Y'all are built different, but that's why you're headed to the NFL. Darius, I really appreciate you sitting down and doing this little interview with me. It was awesome to get to know you a little bit better. Best of luck on everything you got going forward. Maybe a future Carolina Panther, but wherever you end up, man, best of luck.
For sure. Thank you guys for having me. I enjoyed it a lot.
Really appreciate Darius joining us. And, if he becomes a Carolina Panther, currently in Charlotte, North Carolina, might have to show him what's up with the 3 sides minimum rule. Y'all know that. If you enjoyed this prospect interview, make sure you are subscribed to the Draft Network's YouTube channel. We're bringing out prospect interviews all draft season long.